Hello everybody, welcome to another start in the Mark Fydrich replay. Tabby is sitting this one out, taking a rest. This is game or start number 23 for Mark Fydrich. And we'll look at the stats to date for Mark Fydrich. I went ahead and finally put this back into Excel instead of writing it down on a piece of note paper. That shows all of his stats every start. And then as of 22 starts, you can compare the replay with the actual numbers, and they're actually quite comparable. As you can see, the only one that's a little bit of an outlier are the home runs. For some reason in the replay, he's not allowing quite as many home runs. Not sure what the cause of that is, but all the other numbers are very comparable. I haven't pitched him quite as many innings. I've been pulling him a little bit more than Ralph Houck used him, but hey, I go by how the game is being, played and what I think is best. Houck probably kept with him when he was tired, and that's probably why he gave up some runs. Now, in this game here against Milwaukee, the September 3rd start, number 23, probably his worst outing of the year. The Brewers pummeled the Tigers 11-2. So Fydrich looking to rebound from that quite a bit. We'll go through the starting lineups. We've got, first for the visiting Brewers, we've got Vaughn Joshua in center, Robin Yount at short, George Scott at first, Bernie Carbo the DH, Mike Hegan's in left, Sixto Lezcano's in right, Darryl Porter's the catcher, Jim Gantner's at third, and Tim Johnson is at second. For the Tigers, Ron LaFleur leads off, but very unusual, Bruce Kim is now batting second. He usually bats 8th or 9th, but he's up to second. I'm not sure what the reasoning is, but he's in there. Rusty Stiles in right, Willie Horton the DH, Alex Johnson in left, Mickey Stanley's at first, Pedro Garcia is at second, Mark Wagner's at short, and Phil Mankowski is at third. Starting pitcher for the Brewers is lefty Jerry Augustine, who was 9-12 with a 3.30 ERA in the 76 season. And so I think that's why you have Mickey Stanley playing first instead of Jason Thompson, and maybe that's why Bruce Kim has moved up as well. Of course, we are in September, so the rosters have expanded. So there's a whole lot of extra players that are being used. Both these teams were out of the playoff race, so they may be getting a look at some of the youngsters, which is probably why Mankowski is in there for the Tigers and why young Jim Gantner is in there for the Brewers. All right, so all those preliminaries out of the way, I think we're good to go. Let me look through the phone one more time to make sure that it seems to be copacetic, and I think it is. Looks like everything is visible, and the focus seems to be okay. So we are ready to go. This is start, like I said, start 23. Next start after this one will be against the Orioles again here at Tiger Stadium on September 7th. But right now, Fydrich trying to tame the Brew Crew. So Fydrich finishing up those warm-up tosses. Now we'll be facing Vaughn Joshua to lead things off. 4-3, and that's, if he's tired, it'd be a single, but of course, first bat of the game, that's not an issue. We go to Joshua, 1-1's a fly to center. And a good start for Fydrich as he gets Joshua out of there. Up now is Robin Yount. Fydrich 2-4, possible error on a throw. 1-1 is a fly to right, so no throw necessary, no error check. 2 up, 2 down. That's unusual for fly balls. Usually Fydrich throws more ground balls, but he'll take the outs any way he can get them. Here's the boomer, George Scott. Fydrich 3-3 is the ballpark card. We're going to Tiger Stadium. So let's move this over here so you can actually see the words Tiger Stadium in there, at least somewhat. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. I don't know. That's okay. If you can't, you know we're at Tiger Stadium. I'll put it over here, Tiger Stadium. There you go. So there's Tiger Stadium. 2-1, and that's a pop-up to Bruce Kim, the catcher. Easy play, 1-2-3, go the Brew Crew. As they don't get anything off of Fydrich in the first, we go to the bottom of the first. Brewers nothing. Tigers coming to bat. And lefty Jerry Augustine finishing up those warm-up tosses. He will be facing Ron LaFleur to start things off. 5-3, and that's a possible hit by pitch. LaFleur's a 2. He's a +1, makes it a 3, but that's a 14. So you fall out of that range, you go straight to LaFleur. 5-2 is a question mark 8. Anything up through an 18 against a lefty is going to be a hit. That's a 7. So 7 falls in the double category here. 7 to 12 was a double. Ron LaFleur, leadoff double. Now, he will not try to steal, but we do have a strategy roll because Augustine has chances of a balk or a pickoff. So we'll roll for that. It has to be a 20 to invoke these. And it's not, so we keep going. Here is Bruce Kim. 2-6 is a range play at Tiger Stadium. 1-5, and that's a blank, which means we're going to the rare play chart with men on base. That's a 2d6 roll. And we get a 62. 62 says slow roller fielded by the catcher who possibly bobbles, then possibly throws wild. So we're checking the catcher error rate in 2 different situations. Darryl Porter's error rate is an 11. So, well, first of all, we got a range play. He's a 1 range play. So I would think if you can't get to it via the range, then you couldn't have an error. So I believe it's just going to be a base hit. I don't think there's going to be an error to worry about here. I'm sorry, I should have rolled a D6, not a D20. That's a 4, so it's a failed range play. So to me, a failed range play means it's an infield hit. We're not going to worry about an error or anything because if he failed range, he can't get to it, right? So if he can't get to it, that means he can't bobble it and he can't throw it. At least that's just the way I'm interpreting things. So that's the way I'm going to play it. That's the way I've been playing it. So I'm not going to change now. It might not be 100% technically correct, but it's just, I've been doing it, so that's just the way I'm going to do it. At least for this replay. Now, if I do inside pitch for a season replay or something, then I'll reboot the rules to the newest edition or whatever. But right now, I'm just still in Fydrich mode, and I'm still in the same rules I'm used to being in. So, runners at first and second. Now, Bruce Kim does have an attempt of 3, so I need to monitor that. He's got an attempt of 3, 0 for Augustine. So let's see if Kim's doing anything. 5's a hit and run. So we got a hit and run with Rusty Staub, but I don't think you can hit and run with a runner on third, so I think we're going to override that. So just going to be a regular swing away here. No hit and run, because with the runner on third, you're not going to try to hit and run. So here's Augustine to Staub. A lot of strange rolls early on. 2-6, another range play at Tiger Stadium. They like that. And we get a 5-2, and that's a home run to the pull side. That's a 20, though, so it's out of range. He's only an 18 against lefties. That's a 20, so he's not going to get the home run, but we're checking the range of the right fielder, which is Lascano. He's a 4, so see if he can get to this. He does not, so Lascano cannot get to it. See if it's a single or a double. It will be a single. So since Lascano couldn't get to it, it's a base hit, and LaFleur will score, coming in easily from third base. And we'll check the runner Kim and see if he can make it. On a single to right field to go from first to third, you add 2 to the base running rating. Kim's a 2, becomes a 4. And then the right fielder arm, Lascano, is a -1. It makes him a 3. So a 3 or less, he will make it. He does not. He has to hold. That was a 5. So Kim will hold at second base. He had to hold to make sure that ball wasn't going to be caught. So runners at first and second. Nobody out. And we'll go back to the strategy roll for Willie Horton. Nothing happening. Infield double play depth. 5-5 strikeout chance. That's an 18. Too high for that. Willie Horton's not going to strike out. Go to Horton's card. 4-3. That's a single to center field. So how about that? Tigers come out swinging. And on an S8 to score from second, on an S8 you add 2 to the base running rating. So Kim becomes a 4 for his base running rating. Center fielder arm Joshua is a 0. So it's a 4 or less, and Kim will make it. And he does. So Kim will score. Kim will score. Staub will stop at second base because the white die is higher than the BR rating of Staub, which is only a 2. So Staub will hold. Puts runners at first and second. 2 runs are in right away. Tigers jump off to a quick 2-0 lead. And they only scored 2 runs the entire game in the real game. So much better so far. Strategy roll again. Make sure there's no pickoff or anything. There's not. Here's Alex Johnson. Infield still double play depth. 4-2 strikeout chance, but 18's too much. So they're missing the strikeouts. Here's Johnson. 6-5. Ground ball to short. Could be a double play. He becomes a 3 since they're halfway. Augustine actually adds 1. That gives them a 4 double play rating. And then you've got the pivot at second. Johnson's a 0. So it's a 1-4 for a double play. And it is a double play, so it'll go 6-4-3. And the runner on second will get third, but now there are 2 outs. So Staub goes to third, but now there are 2 outs. And the big inning may have been avoided by Augustine if he can get out Mickey Stanley. We'll roll to make sure there's no balk, and there's no balk. You're not going to pick anybody off third, but you could balk. So here is Mickey Stanley. 6-4, and then we're going to the ballpark, Tiger Stadium. 1-3, it's a ground ball to third, and that's going to end the inning. So Augustine actually got out of that pretty decent, only 2 runs. It could have been a lot worse. Tigers were looking to score about 4 or 5 of that inning, but they can only muster 2, and that could come back to bite them. You never know. Oops, wrong spot. Anything can happen. They scored 11 runs in the real games, but Fydrich is certainly trying to avoid a repeat of history there. Here's Bernie Carbo. DH. 5-5's a strikeout chance. That's a 17, but his strikeout's a 20, so Bernie Carbo, big whiffer. And there's one away. Here's Mike Hegan. 6-6 is a blank on Fydrich. We go to Hegan. Whoops, as I drop my D20, which I should not have done, but just slipped right out of my hands, and now I've got to crawl under the table to get it. So temporary setback to the festivities. Let's try this again for Hegan. 2-2 is a fly to left. So 2 quick outs. Well, they would have been quicker had I not dropped the dice, but that was my own fault there. User error. Here's Sixto Lascano. 4-5, and that is a blank. So we go to Lascano. Finish the at bat. 4-3, and it's a ground ball to short. And Wagner throws over to Mickey Stanley to end the inning. We go to the bottom of the second. Still 2-0. Favor of the Tigers. Augustine back out, looking to have a less eventful second inning that he had this time around. Here's Pedro Garcia. He's back in the lineup at second base. 1-3 is a possible walk. It's a 13, but his walk is only a 4, so nothing doing there. Garcia, 4-6. He's going to pop it up to first. And that's put away by the boomer, George Scott. 1 away. Here's Mark Wagner. Augustine, 6-3 is a strikeout chance, but 16 again is too much. Go to Wagner. 2-3. Ground ball to second. Tim Johnson over to Scott for out number 2, and Augustine much better this inning. Here's Mankowski. 4-1. Possible home run. Against a lefty, it's 1-14, but that's a 15, so it fails that check. So we will not check Mankowski for a home run. We will just go on Mankowski's card to finish the at-bat. But no home run possible. 4-4, he's going to ground it to short, robbing you out. Over to Boomer, and that's going to end the inning. 3 up, 3 down. Much better inning for Augustine. And I'm certainly hoping that we don't have as many runs as we had in the previous game with the Oakland A's, because that was a nightmare, all those runs. I prefer pitching duels. I mean, a few runs are okay, but I don't like when one team gets in double digits and it's a blowout. It's kind of not fun. Here's Darryl Porter. 2-6 is blank on Fydrich. Porter, 6-3, Starline 4, ground ball to second. 1 away for Jim Gantner. His rookie season. 3-4. And that's the star line. That's one of Fydrich's star line numbers, 3-4. So he found it. See what the out's going to be. It's a 2. It's a ground ball to short. 2 up, 2 down, and that brings up Tim Johnson, second baseman. 4-1. Wild pitch, but nobody's on base, so it's just a foul ball. We re-roll on Fydrich. 5-4, and that is a range play. So we're going to Johnson's card and see who the range check is on. 1-2. It's a fly to center. We're checking the range of LaFleur, who's a 3. So if this is a 3 or less, LaFleur will make the play. And he does not. So now if it's a 5 or 6, it drops for a double. Nope, it's a single. So first hit of the game, number 9 hitter, Tim Johnson breaks up the no-hitter here in the top of the third with a failed range play. And let's see. His attempt, I almost forgot to do it. His attempt is a 1, so it is possible. Something could be happening, but it's not. So we go back over to Von Joshua. Flew to center his first trip. 4-2. That's a strikeout chance because he's not tired. 11. Joshua's a 10, but the stadium adds 1, makes him an 11, so that will be a strikeout. So Tiger Stadium helps to ring up Von Joshua. Nothing doing for the Brew Crew. We go to the bottom of the third. Still 2-0. Augustine back out for LaFleur, top of the order. LaFleur doubled and scored his first time up. Augustine, 6-5 is a blank. We go to LaFleur. 1-2, that's a single to right field. So LaFleur, 2 for 2. And he will be looking to run. He's got an 8. So let's see if he can get a jump with an 8. 14, he will not get the jump. He will be held. Infield double play depth as they play halfway for Bruce Kim. We'll roll the strategy roll. Nothing happening. 5-6 is a walk plus, so that makes him a 20, and that 8 falls well within that, so Bruce Kim will walk. So the first 2 are on again. Deja vu all over again, just like the first inning. The first 2 are on again at first and second, where they were at the corners last time, but you get the general idea. So here's Augustine for the strategy roll. Nothing happening. For Rusty Staub. 5-2 is a blank, so we go to Rusty Staub's card. 4-5. Fly to center. 1 away. Now to get from second to third, you subtract 3 from the base running rating. So LaFleur drops from a 4 to a 1. Center field arm is a 0. So if it's a 1 or less, that can't be 1 or less. If it's a 1, he makes it. 2 through 5, he holds. 6, he's out trying. 5, he's got to hold. So he can't go anywhere. So Rusty Staub, that fly ball not deep enough. That brings up Willie Horton. Augustine, 3-5. That's a double question mark against a right-hander. A 1-16 is a star line. That's a 19, so it does not get the automatic out. Horton avoids that. We go to Horton's card. Finish the at-bat. 2-4. Well, he's going to ground to the pitcher, and it could be a double play. In fact, it's guaranteed because he's already a 5. Their double play depth makes him a 6. Plus, Augustine has a +1 to make it 7. And then the pivot would be the second baseman, who's a 0. So it's an automatic double play. It goes 1-4 to 3. And the inning is over. So 3 innings are in the books, and it's still 2-0 Tigers over the Brew Crew. Fydrich back out, and Robin Yount will lead us off here in the top of the 4th. Yount fly to right his first trip. 4-4. 4-4 is a blank, so we move on to Yount. 2-3 is a ground ball to short. 1 away, so now Fydrich is starting to get those ground balls like I'm accustomed to seeing. Here's the boomer. George Scott, 3-3. That's the ballpark. He was on the ballpark last time and found a pop up to the catcher. He found the ballpark again. So let's see if Scott can take advantage of that ballpark. 3-5. 3-5. No, he flies to center. So LaFleur will haul it in. 2 down. For Bernie Carbo, struck out. First chance. 6-2 is a range play at Tiger Stadium. So we're going right back to Tiger Stadium. 6-6 is a home run to the opposite field. That's a 19. He's only 11, so it will not be out. But we are doing a range of the left fielder because Carbo's a lefty. Opposite field means it goes to left field. Left fielder range Johnson's only a 1, so he's terrible. So he does not get it. Now let's see if there is going to be a double. Nope, it's just a single. So opposite field single. Unable to get to it was Alex Johnson with his 1 range. So Carbo's aboard. He does have an attempt of 1, but nothing's happening. So with 2 outs, infield, of course, normal depth. And Mike Hegan, the batter, and we will roll the strategy roll because he does have a pickoff chance, but not this time. So now Fydrich to Hegan, 5-1. We're going back to the ballpark again. So Tiger Stadium figuring prominently here. 1-6, it's a star line 5, which on Fydrich is a ground ball to third to end the inning. So nothing doing for the Brew Crew. And despite the fact that the real game had 13 runs scored, this game is still holding at 2 runs scored. So thank goodness for that. An 11-2 game was not what I was looking forward to playing. All right, here's Alex Johnson. He hit into a double play his first time up. 5-6 is a walk plus. His walk's a 6 against a lefty, plus the 10 on the plus makes it a 16, so 15 falls within that. Plus you had one from the stadium, makes it a 17. So it is a walk for Alex Johnson. He's going to attempt a 4. So let's see if he can do anything. It's a 5. It's a hit and run. So we got a hit and run from Mickey Stanley coming up. But first we'll check and make sure there's no pickoff or anything. There's not. Now we roll on Augustine to check for strikeout. 6-1. We get a blank, so we don't have a strikeout. So let's see what Stanley does on the hit and run. 5-3 is a ground ball to short. And on a hit and run, now the infield was at double play depth, but so what that does on double play depth when they're playing halfway is, let's see here, it doesn't do anything to the runner, but on the hit and run, the base running rating is added as a +2 for the runner on first base Johnson, and the double play rating goes down by 2. So you subtract 2 from the double play rating possibility. So his double play rating is a 3, add 1 there is a 4, but you subtract 2 from it because of the hit and run, drops it down to a 2, and the pivot's a 0. So it's a 1 or 2 for a double play. It's a 1. They still get it. Even with the hit and run, they still get the double play. How about that? 6-4-3. That ball must have been hit right to the bag, so when he was trying to do the hit and run, the shortstop broke right for the bag and just was right in position, I guess. That's the way it worked out. So 2 down, and Stanley, that's 3 double plays for the Tigers in 4 innings. So they're just losing base runners left and right on these double plays. 6-5, nothing on Augustine. Here's Garcia. 4-3. It's ground ball to second, and that's going to end the inning. So we go to the 5th, and it's still 2-0. Those 2 runs in the first have held up so far. And Fydrich will be facing Sixto Lascano to lead things off. He grounded to short his first trip. 6-5, that's a range play on Lascano's card. 4-5, pop up to third, so we're checking the range of the third baseman. That's Mankowski, he's a 3. And it's a failed range play on a pop-up. So let's see what happens here on a pop-up. Pop-up to third says drop ball. 1 base is less than 2 outs, otherwise 2 base error. So it's going to be a 1 base error. So we'll call it an E5. So error on Mr. Mankowski for the first error of the game by the Tigers. They made 2 in the real game. And now Fydrich will be facing Porter. We'll check the strategy roll. Nothing's happening. Double play depth coming up. Trying to turn 2. 4-3. And a 4-3 would be a single if he's tired, but he's not tired, so we skip it. Go to Porter. 6-4. That's a fly to right, so 1 down. As the runner Lascano retreats to first, here's Jim Gantner. Same routine, double play depth. Check the strategy roll, nothing happening. Fydrich to Gantner. 2-1, possible error. Possible error. Gantner. 3-2, that's a single past second base. Second baseman. Garcia's an 11 error, but that's a 12, so it won't be an error. But it is an S4, and to get from first to third on S4, you need a 3 or better base running rating. Lascano has a 3, so he will make it to third base without a throw. So runners are at the corners with only 1 out. Now Fydrich has to bear down against Tim Johnson, who did single off of him last time. Check the strategy roll, nothing going on. Infield still looking to turn the double play. They're playing halfway. 1-1 is a strikeout chance. That's a 9. He's only an 8, but the stadium adds 1, makes it a 9, so it's a strikeout. Big strikeout for Fydrich. And now the infield can kind of relax a little bit, go back to normal depth because they don't need to turn the double play anymore. And regular out will get him out of the inning. This strategy roll, there's nothing going on. You have to have a 20 to invoke that. So here's Fydrich to Joshua. Joshua 0 for 2. He's flown to center and struck out. 1-2. He might strike out again, but 19's too much, so no strikeout. Go to Joshua, 5-5, and against the split chance, but against a right-hander, he grounds to second. and that's going to end the inning. Had Fydrich been a lefty, that would have been a base hit. Kind of a reverse split on that particular check, but in this case, it was a failed one as it grounds to second to end the inning. So Fydrich gets out of that, leaving 2 Brewers on the base paths. And as we go to the bottom of the 5th, it's still 2-0 Tigers. Augustine back out. We'll be facing shortstop Mark Wagner, followed by Minkowski, and then the top of the order, LaFleur. Augustine, 3-5, is a double question mark against a right-hander. 1-16 is a star line. That's a 10, so it will be a star line. Just have to figure out what kind of a out it's going to be. It's a ground ball to short. So 1 away. And that brings up Minkowski. 3-4, and that's potential walk. Minkowski only walks at a 5, so no walk. 2-4 from Minkowski is a liner right at the second baseman, Tim Johnson, for out number 2. Minkowski hit it hard, but one of them atom balls right at him. That'll bring up LaFleur. LaFleur is doubled and singled. 3-3, possible error if there's a ground ball. 6-3 is a fly to right, so no worries there on the error. That's going to end the inning. We go to the 6th. Still 2-0 Tigers. And didn't think I'd get a pitching duel in this game, but darned if we aren't. Of course, Augustine's a pretty good pitcher. Only ERA of 3.30. And you know what Fydrich can do, so I guess maybe it wasn't that surprising, but somehow in the real game, this Brewers scored 11 runs. I guess Fydrich was just off. All right, so here's Yount. Start the 6th. He's flown to right and grounded to short, 0 for 2. 3-4, and that's the star line for Fydrich. That 3, he loves those 3-4 rolls. That's a star line. It's a 1. It's a ground ball to second. And there's 1 away. Here's the boomer, George Scott. He has popped up to the catcher and flown to center. 3-2, that is a blank. We go to Scott's card. 2-2, he's going to ground it right back to Fydrich for an easy play. 2 up, 2 down for Bernie Carbo. Carbo struck out and singled. 1-2 is another strikeout chance, but 20. Oh, 20 is not too much. He is a 20. I forgot he's a whiffer, so Carbo struck him out. We go to the bottom of the 6th, still 2-0. Those 2 runs have held up. And you wouldn't have thought that, but that's what has happened so far. Now, Bruce Kim back out. Will lead off, and Kim, in the number 2 position, has singled and walked and scored a run. 6-6 is blank on Augustine. 4-5, and that's a double to left field. So maybe Ralph Houck knew what he was doing. Whoops, wrong. Let me fix this. I don't know why I had him flying to left. That was a double, not a fly to left. So let me get my correction tape going here. I don't know how I wrote that in as a fly to left when it's clearly a double. Maybe I'm visualizing him doubling to left. I don't know. But yeah, he's a 2 for 2 with a walk, single and a double. He's not going to try to go anywhere, but we will have the strategy roll because of a chance of a pickoff. And it's a 20, so there's a chance of a pickoff or a balk. 1 or 2 is a balk. 3 is a pickoff. That's a 3, so they picked him off. Do you believe that? Bruce Kim, sleeping over there, got picked off. We'll call it 1-6 as Robin Yount snuck behind him and picked him off. How do you like that? Boy, Ralph Houck not happy about that whatsoever. Your leadoff man gets a double and he immediately gets picked off. He's pulling out what little bit of hair he's got left. It's all gray. Here's Staub, 6-5, blank. Go to Staub's card. 3-6, he's going to fly to right. 2 down. And maybe I was foreshadowing saying he flied to left and made an out because he ends up being out anyway. Here's Willie Horton. 1-3 is a potential walk, but 20 is way too much. Finish up on Horton. 3-2. He will ground to third. I was looking at 3-3 and got excited, thought it was a base hit, but 3-2 is a ground ball to third, which Jim Gantner takes care of, and the Tigers are taken care of in the 6th. Thanks to that pickoff, Augustine got himself out of a potential jam with that pickoff. We go to the top of the 7th, still 2-0, and Mike Hegan, the batter. Hegan is fly to left and grounded to third. 6-3, possible strikeout, but that's an 18. Well, you never know. Hegan's a 17, plus 1 makes him an 18, so Tiger Stadium helps the Bird get another strikeout. So it's one away. Here's Sixto Lascano. 1-2 is another strikeout chance. And that's a 5, so he will strike out. So Fydrich back-to-back Ks here in the 7th. So he seems to be getting stronger as the game goes on. Here's Porter. 4-2 is a strikeout chance again. That's a 13, but this time it won't do it. Won't strike out Porter. 2-4, but he will get Porter to fly to left, and it's a very easy inning for Fydrich. 7th inning stretch we go. It's still 2-0. Those runs in the first inning have held up, surprisingly. Now here's Augustine to pitch the bottom of the 7th. Now he can face 27 batters. So far he has faced 22. So he's still good for at least this inning, maybe the 8th, but definitely the 7th. Johnson, 5-1, error on throw possible if a throw is needed. So Johnson's card, 2-1 is a fly to right, so no throw needed. Oh, I'm sorry, it's not a fly to right. He's facing a lefty Augustine. That's a double to right. Oh, I missed that initially. That's a double to right. I think I got this correction tape making all these mistakes. So, but I'm glad I caught it because that's a split chance on that 2-1, and against a lefty, which Augustine is a lefty, that's a double to right. So how about that? Now he's got to avoid getting picked off. If he gets picked off, Ralph Houk's going to kick him in the you-know-what. So we'll see what the strategy roll says. Okay, no chance of a pickoff, so he won't get picked off. Here is Mickey Stanley, 1-5, possible single, but he's not tired, so no worries there. Good. Stanley's card, 6-4. Ground ball to third, that's going to freeze Mr. Johnson right there. So one away for Pedro Garcia. We'll make sure there's no balk. Oh, nothing going on. Augustine, 6-6 is blank, so we move on to Garcia. 1-1, and that's the opposite of what Johnson had. This one is against a lefty, is a fly to right, whereas against a righty he would double to right, but this one's a fly to right. So fly to right field, and now to get to third is just a straight BR rating less the outfielder arm. Lascano is a -1, Johnson is a 3, so that becomes a 2 for his base running rating. So it's a 1 or 2, he'll make it. 5, he's got to hold. So he will hold at second base with 2 down. Been there since he doubled. He hasn't moved. Strategy roll, nothing going on. Here's Mark Wagner. Wagner 0 for 2, couple of ground outs. 3-3 is another grounder coming, possibly. Error on a grounder, if there is a grounder. 5-2 is a single past second. That is Johnson. He's a 6. That's a 3, so that's going to be a single plus an error, I do believe, on those failed error checks, even though it's a single. I still think you have to count it as an error there. So the run's going to score anyway, because to get from second to home, all you need is a 2 BR rating, base running rating, and Johnson's a 3, so that will score Johnson automatically one way or the other. Regardless, he will score to give the Tigers a 3-0 lead, and that's going to be a single plus an E4 on Tim Johnson to allow Wagner to get to second. So now an error on both sides of the house. Tigers now lead it 3-0. Give them a little bit more breathing room. We'll roll the strategy roll for the at bat for Mankowski, and nothing's happening. Augustine to Mankowski. 3-3. Another error possible on a grounder. Mankowski 4-3 is a fly to left, though. That's going to end the inning. So 1 run is in. We go to the 8th. It is 3-0 Tigers. And Fydrich rolling along, looking to improve on his ERA. He can face 34 batters. So far he's faced 25, so he's in excellent shape. He's in really good shape to go all 9 as long as he's effective. Here is Gantner to lead things off. 6-4, and that's a double question mark. Against the lefty, you need a 1 through 5 to get the star line. That's an 18, so he will not get that. We treat it as a blank. And go to Gantner's card. 5-6, and that's a fly to center. So Mr. Gantner is retired. Here's Tim Johnson, who made that error last time up. Or last inning, I should say. 2-6 is nothing on Fydrich. For Johnson. 6-2, it's the inverse. 2-6, now 6-2 is a single past the first baseman, Stanley. And the lead off, or a 1-out single for Johnson. Now, Strategy rolls are off because the difference in the game is 3 runs and there's only 2 innings left, so strategy rolls are going to be off. We're not going to do any strategy rolls. He's not going to try to run anywhere. He's not going to try to get picked off, none of that stuff. So they will play double play depth for Von Joshua. 4-5 is a blank. Go to Joshua's card. 3-4, and that is a ground ball to second. Another one of the split chances. Ground ball to second, possible double play. He's a 1. They were playing halfway, makes him a 2, pivots or 0. So 1 to 2, and it's a double play. It's a 5, so that's not going to work. But the 5 is greater than Tim Johnson's BR rating, so it will be a fielder's choice. Goes 4 to 6, and Von Joshua takes over at first base. Again, you will not try to go anywhere. There's no strategy rolls or steals when you're down more than what the innings remaining are. So here's Robin Yount. 1-4, possible walk since he's right-handed. That's a 15, but his walks aren't going to allow that. 5-3 is a star line 6, fly to center. That's going to end the inning. So Fydrich, 8 shutout frames here against the Brew Crew. It's hard to believe he gave up, the Brewers scored 11 runs in this game in real life, and Fydrich didn't last long. I think it was his shortest outing of the season. That was a start. So he just had a rough game in real life, but he is making up for it clearly in this real game. Now, Augustine has faced 27 batters, so he's right at his limit. So I think they're going to go ahead and go to the bullpen. So they're going to call it an evening for Jerry Augustine. He will sit down, head to the showers, and they will bring in Eduardo Rodriguez. Eduardo Rodriguez will come in for the Brew Crew. And I did go to the Stratomatic PC that I have the 76 season for. Simmed up to this point, so I know exactly who's on the roster. So all these guys are actually on the roster. And the few that weren't, I excluded. So Rodriguez definitely on the roster. He'll be facing Ron LaFleur to start the bottom of the 8th. 1-4 is possible walk. His walk against the righty is a 10. That's a 10. Plus she had one from the stadium, gives him 11. So it's definitely a walk to LaFleur. And now he can try to get in a jump here. Well, no, he's not, because the score being what it is, we're not going to steal. Never mind. Forgot my own rule there, didn't I? All right, now Kim could bunt. You know what? They're going to have him swing away. Infield is at halfway double play. 3-6 is a ballpark card. And we're not going to have Kim bunt because he's had such a hot day. So we're going to Tiger Stadium for Bruce Kim. 6-4, and that's a single plus. So we automatically know LaFleur is going to get third base automatically. Now Kim could get second base with a double. We shall see. The left fielder in this case for the Brewers is Hegan. He's a +2 arm. Kim's a BR of 2, so that's a total of 4. If this red die is a 4 or less, he will get a double. A 5, he's got a hold. 6, he's out trying. So he's in there with a double. So how about that? Bruce Kim, they pumped him up to the second position in the batting order, and he's responded going 3 for 3, 2 doubles, a single, and a walk. Unbelievable for a 263 hitter. But he's there. So second and third, and Eduardo Rodriguez is not the answer apparently. So the Brewers looking maybe to get somebody else in the bullpen loosening. I don't know, but I guess they're going to have to stick with him. Infield's going to have to come in for the Rusty Staub at bat. 6-1 blank, so we go to Staub's card. 4-6 is a star line 2, which is a fly to center. Possible sacrifice fly. He does have a 4 sacrifice fly rating. But it's a 5, so it won't be a sacrifice fly unless LaFleur can score. Now the chance for LaFleur scoring is certainly there. And center fielder Joshua's a 0 arm. LaFleur's base running rating is a 4. So if this is a 4 or less, he makes it. It's a 5, so he has to hold. Cannot score. Was not deep enough. So Staub got up under it too much, and they didn't want to take the chance. So now that brings up Willie Horton. Infield still in. 1-5, possible error. 5-4. 5-4 is a single to right field, so that'll score at least 1 for sure. Don't know about Kim, but LaFleur scores to make it 4-0. Now Kim, his BR rating is a 2. And the right fielder on Lezcano is a -1, so that makes it a 1. And then score on a single to right field from second base, you add 1, so it gives him the 1 back. So he's a BR of 2. And he has to hold. He cannot make it. He will hold at third. So runners are at the corners with 1 out. And Alex Johnson, the batter, infield is now at double play depth because he's got a double play rating of 2. He adds 1, makes it a 3, and then they're playing halfway. It would make him a 4. So pretty good chance of a double play if they can get a ground ball. Rodriguez, 5-2 is a blank. Go to Johnson's card. 3-1. It's ground ball, but it's going to get past the shortstop for a single. And that will make it 5-0. As Kim trots in from third base, Willie Horton will have to stop at second. So it is now 5-0. Favor the Tigers. And let's see, they want to keep Rodriguez. They're going to take Rodriguez out of there. So Rodriguez couldn't get it done. He only pitched a third of an inning before he got chased. And now they will go to right-hander Gary Beer. I guess it's pronounced Beer. Beer. I'll just call him Beer because it sounds good. So Gary Beer. Sounds like a brand of beer. You know, like Bitty Beer, Gary Beer. So here we go. Mickey Stanley is up, first and second. Whoops. First and second, 1 out, infield double play depth. 5-2. Whoa, 5-2 is a straight up home run chance against a right-hander. That's a 7. But fortunately for Beer, Stanley has a 0 home run rating against righties, whereas he is 14 against lefties. So fortunately, for him, Stanley does not get a chance at a home run. So we finish up on Stanley's card. 1-4. He's going to ground it to third. Possible double play. He's a 3. That's a +2. They were already halfway, so that makes it 6. And the range, or the pivot man, I should say, it's second. Well, wait a minute. We've got to see if it's a step on third or whether it's a throw over. So let's see what we check for. That's a 1, so it actually means it's toward the line. So it'll be a 5-3 double play. So that means there is no pivot. So the 6 will hold, and it is an automatic double play. It goes 5 unassisted, 5-3 to complete the double play. Because when you do a double play with runners at first and second, you roll 1 more D6. If it's a 1-2, it's toward the line. 3-4, it's right at third baseman. They got a choice. 5 or 6, it's in the hole, and they have to go to second. So that's the reasoning behind that. But that ends the inning, but 2 runs come in to do more damage and make it 5-0. And now the only suspense is whether Fydrich gets a shutout or not. He's got a chance. He can face 34 batters. He's faced 29. So very good chance he can get that complete game without getting fatigued. He's got to get through George Scott, Bernie Carbo, and Mike Keegan. 5-3, strikeout chance against the right-hander Scott. That's an 8. He's got a 14, +1's a 15. That's a strikeout. So George Scott is retired. Here is Bernie Carbo. 1-5, home run question mark against a left-hander. That's 1-19, so it passes that check. So we're going to roll on Carbo's card a 1 through an 11, and the shutout is gone. 12 or higher, it's just a deep fly out. And it's gone. Well, it wouldn't have been a fly out. It would have been, we'd have finished on Carbo's card. My mistake there. It wouldn't have been automatic out. But either way, it doesn't matter. Carbo just hit a home run to break up the shutout. So Fydrich won't get the shutout. Solo home run, but it's now 5-1. So at least the game itself is not in question for the win, but his shutout is gone. Here's Hegan. 2-5 is a potential walk, and that's a 6. I'm sorry, it's a 9, and he will walk. Almost picked that D20 up prematurely there, but it is a walk. So now we go to Lezcano. Of course, no strategy rolls, none of that stuff. They are at double play depth. 5-4 is a range play, so that means they're going to subtract 1 from the range of the infielders. Being at double play depth. 1-3 is a ground ball to short. So the range of Wagner's a 4. It now becomes a 3. So let's see here. No, yeah, it is a range play, so it's a 3. So it's got to be a 3 or less for him to make the play. It is not, so playing halfway cost him. And that's going to be a failed range check, so it turns into an S6. Probably should have played back since they had such a lead, but they played up front. So to get from first to third, you have to have a 5 BR. Hegan does not have that, so it's simply a base hit with the runner going to second base. But there's one out and a couple on. Now the things are getting a little bit tighter here. And we got Darryl Porter and then followed by Gantner. So left-hander John Hiller potentially could be coming into this game to try to save it, because we're pretty much at a save situation right now. Let's see how they want to play this. And I think that's what they're going to do. I think we're going to take Fydrich out. I think he's had enough. So John Hiller will be coming on. And we'll close the book on Fydrich. He goes 8 1/3. And he's going to give up, well, we know he gives up 1 home run and at least 1 run. We don't know about the other runs because those 2 are his responsibility. He walked 1. That was his only walk of the game, was Hegan here in the 9th. That was his lone walk. Strikeouts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So a lot of strikeouts, 7 strikeouts. And his hits, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hits. All right, so right now 1 run, but the runners on base are his responsibility. And now Darryl Porter is going to be called back. He will not hit. With Hiller coming in the lefty, they're going to go to the bench. And they got plenty of bench players to go to. So they're going to go to, who are they going to go to? Who's a good right-handed hitter? They're going to go to Don Money. Oops. Don Money will pinch hit. So Don Money will pinch hit for Porter. Don Money. Pinch hit here against Hiller. 2-5, and 2-5 is a strikeout chance. That's a 5. Against the lefty, that's a 6, so he's gone. So Don Money strikes out in the clutch at bat. Can't get it done. They'll pinch hit for Gantner as well versus the lefty. So they will be bringing in another right-hander, and that'll be, or who do they have that's any good? Dan Thomas. Not Gorman Thomas, but Dan Thomas. Gorman Thomas is not available. He's not on the roster right now. Not active, I mean. So Dan Thomas will be on to pinch hit with 2 outs here in the 9th. He will get the call to pinch hit against Hiller. 2-5. We're back in the same boat. Strikeout. That's a 3. He's gone. So how about that for a relief appearance? John Hiller strikes out both batters he faces. Both of his, both the pinch hitters he faces, he strikes both of them out. And the Tigers win it 5-1 as they avenged what that normal game loss was of 11-2. So let's figure out the rest of the totals in the ball game for the Tigers. We got the line score for the Brewers, 1-6-1. For the Tigers, we know they had 5 runs and 1 error. Let's see how many hits they had. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I got them for 11 hits unofficially. So unofficially, it is the Tigers winning over the Brewers 5-1, 5-11-1 for the Tigers, 1-6-1 for the Brewers. Winning pitcher was Mark Fydrich. He now improves to 15-6 on the replay, and we can kind of put in his numbers now below here that we're going to be adding to this. So for the Milwaukee game, he goes 8 1/3 and gives up 6 hits, 1 run, which was a home run. Walks 1, strikes out 7, proves to 15-6, and not sure what his ERA is until we calculate it out. But right now that gives him 198 1/3 innings and 163 hits. And right, 163 on the hits. Earned runs 46, home runs 6, walks 39, strikeouts 78, and he goes to 15-6. And his ERA obviously going to be lowered a little bit, probably close, dropping it down to about 2.0 something. So we'll see how that plays out in his next start, which his next start, he will be back at home again. And this time it'll be Earl Weaver's Baltimore Orioles coming to town, as it'll be 20-game winner Wayne Garland against Fydrich. And that game is a September 7th affair that the Orioles won 5-3 thanks to 4 Tiger errors. But when you're replaying like this, anything can happen. Obviously, we changed the history of what happened the last time. So there you go. Mark the Bird Fydrich. The bird is the word. And in this game, he was the word in tune to a 5-1 victory to improve his record to 15-6 on the replay. He was 19-9 in real life. So he's definitely got a good chance to match that because he does have 6 more starts. So 6 more starts to go from 15-6 to 19-9. That's 7 decisions. So he won't get quite as many decisions. Best he can do in the 6 more starts. He could be 21-6. That's the best he could get. Say he goes 4-2, it'd be 19-8. So if he goes 4-2 the rest of the way, he'll be 19-8, which would be almost right on time. So very happy with how Inside Pitch is doing it. I'll be curious in a couple years maybe or whatever to play a full season on Inside Pitch and see how the stats go. Right now, between finishing up this Fydrich replay and just getting underway on the Washington Nationals replay, I'm going to be tied up in the Washington Nationals for quite a bit with Stratomatics. So it'll be a while before I do an Inside Pitch full season replay with one team. But I did want to go ahead and make sure to get this Fydrich game finished or series finished out. And that way I can concentrate solely on the Nationals and start knocking those games out. Speaking of the Nationals, the next game up in the channel will be game number 4, first game of a 2-game set against the Phillies. It'll be the return of Bryce Harper to Nationals Park. And Max Scherzer will be taking on Zach Eflin in that game. And so that will post probably the next day after this one posts. I'm recording this Thursday night, so I'm sure it's going to post sometime Friday. Friday before Christmas. And then the Nationals replay will most likely, game 4 will most likely post over the weekend. So that's going to do it from here. Hope you enjoyed that presentation of Inside Pitch, Mark Fydrich 1976 style. And until next time, enjoy whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it. And I will see you all down the road.